But to me, this is a bear market rally. And look at 2018-19. You had rallies that were percentage-wise bigger than what we've seen here, and we still came down and made new lows, or at least touched the same lows out there. So I do hope people are careful. I think the government on purpose is not unveiling regulation because they want to unveil their stable coin, their CBDCs.
Gareth Soloway is the founder and CEO of Money Stocks, a company that provides financial research and education to both individual investors and institutions. According to Gareth, the current Bitcoin price action has been lackluster, with the cryptocurrency remaining within the range of $27,000 to $30,500. He believes that this behavior is similar to a bear market rally and that a significant move above $30,500 is needed to change the current market outlook. Gareth also warns investors to be cautious about meme coins like Memecoin, which have caused some excitement in the crypto community. He likens investing in these coins to playing a game of hot potato, where investors hope that someone else will pay a higher price. He believes that the recent surge in speculation around these coins is a warning sign of froth in the market and could indicate that a more significant dip in the overall market is near. In addition, Gareth questions the future relevance of stablecoins like Tether and USD Coin once central bank digital currencies CBDCs are launched. He believes that government regulation is being held back until CBDCs are in place, and that this shift may impact the cryptocurrency market.
I talked about this for months in advance about the 30,500 level. And again, psychologically, that is like the major point of contention here. It was a level where, for me, it was a pivot point whether or not the low was in or not. And so far, we haven't broken through it. So the low to me is potentially still not in crypto. The level, why psychologically it's so important, it was the beginning of this mega move up to 65,000. It was the dip lows and then the move up to 69, and then we came in and consolidated before breaking down. So essentially we've just reversed that move. If we zoom into the current price action, you do have some bearish stuff going on here, right? Number one, you still can't take out 30,500. You have a level here at 27, which I'm watching closely, but you could also make a case that there's a pretty clear trend line. I mean, maybe even going back to here, or we can just kind of slide that up underneath.
There you go.
And that's another concerning thing. So right now we haven't broken it, so you got to give it credit for not breaking it yet. But if this takes out to the downside, then that's where trouble really gets started. And yeah, I mean, to me, to see so many bulls out there gambling, and again, it's not investing. There's no one's getting into Pepe saying, "Hey, I'm going to hold this because it's going to be the best quality coin out there." They're getting in it because they think that they can just sell it to someone else at a higher price. And we're seeing so many meme coins, like everyone on Twitter. What's the next meme? Where do I get in? Where do I just throw some money to try to make 1,000%? Not healthy, not good for a market. And show me one bottom of a market historically, whether it's crypto stocks or commodities or anything that is actually showed that type of speculation. You can't find it. It's not out there. This is the sign of a top, not a...
The recent bank runs have led many to consider alternatives outside the banking system, such as cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and precious metals like gold. Bitcoin, in particular, was created for this exact purpose. However, fear and emotion still play a role in the market, and it is unclear whether Bitcoin's recent rise above $30,000 is a temporary bear market rally or a more significant turning point. If Bitcoin can remain above $30,000 for a sustained period, perhaps a week or so, and establish itself above this level, it may indicate that the worst is over for the market. However, for now, many investors remain cautious, and the sentiment has shifted towards the negative. The Fear and Greed Index, which reached a high of 69 in April when Bitcoin rose above $31,000, has since declined.
For cryptos in general. I mean, again, not necessarily the cryptos that can continue to expand exponentially, that don't have the non-fiat aspect to them, but I mean, shit, if we look at what happened with the banking crises recently and how that just proved to us why we need Bitcoin. Well, guess what? Here's another example. I mean, you got a government that inevitably will raise, and then they owe X amount to Social Security, which is they owe us our money. They're going to have to print that at some point. I mean, there's just endless printing that will go on, but I think investors also need to recognize that that's a long-term issue. It's not something that, like, I'm not going to buy Bitcoin today because all of a sudden
Bitcoin's value dropped below $27,000, reversing the post-CPI Consumer Price Index rally. The CoinDesk Market Index, which measures overall crypto market performance, decreased by 1% over the past 24 hours. Initially, Bitcoin's price rose after the Bureau of Labor Statistics released the Consumer Price Index report on Wednesday, which showed that annual inflation had slowed to 4.9% in April from 5% in March, and was lower than the forecasted 5%. However, the CPI rose 0.4% on a monthly basis, in line with expectations, and higher than the 0.1% in March. As inflation increases, traditional fiat currencies lose purchasing power, which makes alternative investments like Bitcoin more attractive.
We watch that 27-ish thousand level on Bitcoin. If we take that out to the downside, I think, you probably have more downside to go. At least 25 would be 24 to 25 is my next support level. And again, just be aware that kind of keep your ears open to CBDC information coming out from the government and to those type of things, and just watch how it behaves. And last thing I'll say is just going back to the speculation going on. Gambling, which is what's going on in these meme coins, is not it's actually not even a good thing for crypto in all. We talked about the Dogecoin and SHIB back in the day. It's not good. It's not a healthy thing for it. It doesn't make people say, oh, crypto's the future. If anything, it makes people more wary of the situation. CPI and PPI will be hugely watched by the market as an indicator for the Fed. The only thing I would say is it's interesting because I do think that the Fed is probably now on pause. They're not going to cut rates, but I do think they'll probably not hike the next meeting, which I think is about in a month and change, before there's a 2-month period where there's no meeting. So I do think that regardless of what the numbers show, I would be very shocked if the Fed was to hike again, considering the stress on the banking system. Like you said, we'll cover that in just a little bit, but those numbers will be cued off of. So whatever we see the CPI and PPI numbers come out, you're going to see the dollar make a move, you're going to see interest rates make a move, and then what we know is crypto as well as stocks and commodities will trade off of that, whether it's gold, whether it's silver, whether it's stocks in general. That's going to be a driver for this week. So it definitely is. And by the way, you can see today where, at least in the equity markets, things are very quiet. We had Apple, we had the non-farm payrolls last week, we had the Fed. Now we have this little kind of period, what I call a hangover, where everyone got too drunk on that kind of stuff. Now they're like feeling it until Wednesday.
Gareth Soloway believes that for Bitcoin to indicate a bull market, it needs to surpass the threshold of 30,500. According to Coinlist data, Bitcoin traders who speculated on a price shift saw over $47 million in long positions liquidated over an hour. On the other hand, short position liquidations totaled just over $5 million. These instances of long squeezes typically drive prices down. Do share your opinions in the comments section regarding Gareth Soloway's views on the CPI data and Bitcoin's recent performance. For more daily dose crypto news, check out these 2 awesome videos on your screen. Click now and we will see you on the next video.